by Kevin Connor. And if it isn't on Connor, it is his second foul. And check that, actually. It's going to go against Jimmy Lehman, the King Philip shooter. And now at the line, missing the first of his pair is Adam Quinlan. He's a Walpole Rebel. This is the first of two. So Walpole High School in the news this week. Their student council, after the tragic events of Boston on Monday and the ensuing, the aftermath, their student council got together a couple of days ago and made 1,500 blue and yellow ribbons for the entire school to wear over the course of the next week as a show of solidarity. Nice to see students with that kind of get up and go as Tim Walsh buries another three. He's got 3 3-pointers.
Walsh is also the starting quarterback for his Attleboro High School team.
I believe their head coach, Kevin Deschaines, be happy to see him doing that. I think actually Coach Deschaines resigned this year, but had a great career there as Adam Quinlan goes to the glass. So we've seen both teams going a little bit more back and forth here in this as DeAndre, a little quick step over, gets it back to Lehman. Lehman from the free throw line is short, and it's taken back down by Quinlan, who's getting it done both sides of the ball. Rough drives, ran right into, I believe, Santapio. Three-pointer on the way from Aiden James, and James has answered Walsh both ways. He has now 3 threes himself. He has 15 points.
He's a quiet weapon. You don't really notice him. And next thing you know, he always seems to find his spot. And speaking of finding his spot,
Tim Walsh has got himself another 3. Last 4 shots he's hit have been from beyond the arc. He has 16 of the 29 points that Mass Premier Elite has scored. The entry pass for Jokin. He tries to turn, go over Lehman. Nice defense there by Lehman, not fouling. Gets it up to Ruff, and they'll move it around. The reverse over to James. Bombs away, no good. DeAndre comes up with it. Has the runner is Walsh. He's feeling it. Buries another.
Yes, he is. And Tim Walsh does a great job of getting his feet set. He's always on balance. So he's made 4 of his last 4 threes, or 5 of his last 5?
I think 4 of his last 5, yeah. Actually, 5 of his last 6. And it's back to a 5-point game. That ball deflected out of bounds. So quietly here in this second half, Mass Premier Elite has crawled back into this one. They trailed by as many as 16 points. Ball dished to the corner. Ruff. Not really sure if that was the best shot selection. Walsh comes away with it. He'll keep it himself. Bounce pass to the corner. And it'll be brought back by Rogers. Bounces it off of, I want to say, Santapio, and trying to chase it down was Jack Carl and couldn't. It'll remain the possession of the Mass Premier Elite side as Jack Urquhart will check back in for the Magic, replacing Andre Ruff. Walsh the entry pass as Natoji posting up on inside, gets it out for Rogers to the corner. DeAndre thought about driving, pulls up himself and gets it to fall, and we got ourselves a one possession game, 37-34.
That was a great quick move by DeAndre, really efficient. Little crossover into a pull-up, and DeAndre is much more effective when he's shooting the basketball off the dribble rather than off the catch.
Quinlan looks like he might have been fouled by Santapio. Santapio looking like he sat on something sharp. He wasn't too happy about that, as looked like he was moving his feet well, but it will put Quinlan back on the free throw line. The lefty delivers the first free throw. It's off its mark. Quinlan was 3 points in this one, all in the second half, as Phil Liatsakos went out in the first minute or so of the second half with his 4th foul. Second free throw from Quinlan is up, and it back irons, fortunately for the Magic, to the hands of Jochin, and he'll reset it back out for Carl. To the corner, and now back out for Urquhart. Looks to drive, back to the side for Quinlan. Baseline jumper is no good. Rebound, DeAndre. He'll run it up court, running the point for Mass Premier Elite. Pushes it back out for Walsh. Why not? That one's short. Jojen with the rebound, and it'll be slowed up here by Aiden James. James gets up top, picked up by DeAndre, dishes back over for Urquhart, finds Quinlan in the paint, up and over Santarpio, rebound Alex Natoji.
A nice couple possessions of defense by Mass Premier Elite. They've managed to hold the Magic to one shot and done. And I think this point guard, Rocky DeAndre, I think he's got an advantage offensively. He can get to the rim anytime he wants. He's being very unselfish with the basketball.
Tough pass by Natoji, who actually limps to the bench. He's going to be, he's holding his right knee, so he'll be replaced by Kyle Wisniewski. Natoji, one of the players on this squad who's not from the Hockomock League, plays in the TVL at Medway High School, of which I'm quite familiar. Ball on the ground, good defense there as I think Jack Carl rolled his ankle. Back the other way, the jumper taken in, or the layup taken in by Arsenal, and Carl holding his left ankle. Looked like when he crossed back from his right to his left, he got hobbled up. So we'll take a timeout with 9:47 in a one-point game, second half action from Foxborough. And we'll welcome you back with the score 37-36. About 9.5 to play here. Ball played underneath, Urquhart. Picked up by Rogers, nice turn. And keeps this a three-point game. You know, Christina, in games like this, if you're a coach watching this at the collegiate level, I think you're watching as how teams do, in fact, respond to playing in a tight one down the stretch. Again, there's no, both of these teams know they're moving on. Yes, they want to win a trophy, but I think the tension of wins and losses is a little different at these tournaments, perhaps, than it would be in a postseason tournament in high school or college, for example.
I think they're vastly different. A lot of people have AAU is supposed to be about producing better players, exposing players to better talent. Playing year-round basketball is about getting better. It's not about winning games. And some AAU programs are out there and they count their wins and their losses, and that's important to them. And then there are other AAU programs out there who are more interested in developing the individual player, getting kids better, exposing them to better coaches, better competition. And I think it's important for high school players, if they want to play at the collegiate level, they not only have to understand what that means, they have to play for better coaches in the offseason, because in theory, AAU coaches are supposed to be better than high school coaches. It's supposed to be a higher level. That's not necessarily how AAU has turned out. But as you said, there's a distinct difference between high school basketball and AAU basketball, particularly when you're looking at wins and losses.
There's a foul on an illegal. There's some pushing and shoving, boy, they're going to get DeAndre way back. I think he was fouled on his way down the court. So an opportunity, though, for Mass Premier Elite to potentially tie or at least keep this a one-point game. It was a 10-point game at the half, 30-20. Mass Premier has outscored the Middlesex Magic 16-9 thus here in the second half. How's that for quick math? Not bad for an English major.
Well, you went to Brown.
Well,
I have high expectations.
Boy, I fooled another one. Here comes, I was no math student. I think I might have taken my one. No, I didn't take math pass-fail. You could take it all pass-fail, as you know.
I do know that. Well, Coach, that was one of my big sell points when I was an assistant at Brown. Anytime I call a high school kid, I'm like, you can take whatever you want.
Take whatever you want and take it all pass-fail.
I'd always ask, I say, what do you like? And they tell me, I say, what do you dislike? And they go, you never have to take another math again if you don't want to. They'd be like, okay.
I took 2 math classes, and I took them both for a grade, for better or for worse. So I got A's in both of them. I should besmirch myself. DeAndre, the take. Still trying to make this a one-point game. Nice hustle play there by Wisniewski. finds his high school teammate DeAndre, and another second chance here. A nice dish for Connor, and one!
Beautiful play by DeAndre. And what he did, he was able to establish, he created space from his defender, and once that defender closed that gap, he got right to the heart of the paint, drew another defender, wraparound pass to his teammate on the left block, and that's just good basketball right there.
Connor getting his own rebound, but might have come over the back of Liatzakos. And keep in mind, Liatzakos is playing with the 4 fouls. It's 7.5, about halfway through this second half, 39-38. So it essentially has become anyone's ball game.
You know, I like the fact that Liatzakos is in the game. This is an AAU basketball game. He shouldn't be on the bench. He's got talent. Granted, he did just shuffle his feet, but he's a talented player. He's tall, okay? Mass Premier Elite doesn't have a lot of inside guys. And as I said earlier, it's about getting exposure to college coaches, getting more experience on the court, and there's no reason in an AAU game where you need to sit a guy down with 4 fouls on the bench.
Well, DeAndre's going to take a seat, and I think they're saving maybe get him some fresh legs for the stretch run as Wisniewski plays it for Rogers. He drives, goes up off the glass, and they've come all the way back. It is just the 3rd lead change of the game. It was at one point a 16-point lead, and now the Mass Premier Elite side is up by 1. Ball's trapped, and Coach Giordano, he wants timeout. We'll take one too with 6:46 left here in the second half. 40-39. We've got ourselves a ball game, folks. We're back after this. Welcome back, folks, inside of the Mass Premier Courts of Foxborough, Massachusetts. Coach Giordano wanted something executed there. They came out of the huddle, didn't do it. He threw his water bottle. He wasn't too happy as the take from Andre Ruff gets him back in the lead, another lead change, but you gotta love when coaches are coaching them up. They, you know, I mean, we know we've talked about how this is really about exposure, but coaches still want players to execute.
Absolutely. There's nothing more frustrating than making it very clear what you expect from your players out of a timeout, and then they just don't do it. I mean, I've thrown multiple water bottles, clipboards, pens, broken a lot of dry erase markers in my career as a high school coach. It does make you feel better for about half a second.
Yeah.
And then you feel like a jerk.
One of the finer moments of my coaching career was when a group of my athletes gathered the pieces of a broken clipboard, taped it up, and gave it to me the next day with some messages on the tape, like it was casted together.
That's excellent. Did it make you think twice the next time you wanted to throw a clipboard?
Oh yeah, because I couldn't break the tape. DeAndre drives, little scoop, and gets it to fall.
Oh my! Now, I'm not sure if that was an intentional shot. I think he got caught up in the air with the intention of passing it, and then when he realized he didn't have a teammate open, he just kind of scooped it up, put it up nice and soft, a nice arc on that underhanded shot.
5 lead changes in this one. 42-41. DeAndre has 12. Ruff the take. No foul as it comes out for Jojen. His shot no good, and there's a foul underneath. As I think it's against DeAndre actually. There's a reason why he was that open.
Exactly. I mean, I think in general, these players in Mass Premier Elite do a good job of boxing out. They're undersized against this Magic team, but that time DeAndre just got a little bit too low, a little bit of a shove in the lower back to clear out his defender in order to grab that rebound.
Sam Casey has the basketball. Nice coverage there out of the corner by DeAndre. Loops it back up. James, the jumper, no good. Oh, and that's a big foul by Liatzakos, and that's 5. He knew it as soon as he went up and put a lot of contact on Rogers, and thus his day is over. At least in this one, he's not too happy with himself either.
A nice job by Rogers, boxing out a bigger guy, and Chris Rogers is basketball royalty, or so I'm told. He's the grandson of former Celtic coach Jimmy Rogers. So he should know, he should be boxing out. A lot of expectation when you're related to someone who has had a lot of basketball success.
Well, Jimmy Rogers was an assistant coach in the era of Casey Jones. When Casey Jones was the head coach, you know, somebody who's been very very active Casey Jones has been in the basketball community here in New England for now the better part of a half century, both on the men and the women's side, actually. And Jimmy Rogers was also the head coach following Casey's departure from Boston. Can only imagine what the huddle was like when you looked out and you saw DJ, Larry, and Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Reggie Lewis, a young Reggie Lewis. I've never had the luxury of coaching guys quite like that. You?
Not so much, no.
That's no disrespect to anybody that you've coached, though.
No, I mean, I don't think, not a lot of coaches have had the luxury of.
No. The drive by Rogers, the take, and off the glass and in. And it's now a 2-point game. Lead's changed hands 5 or 6 times unofficially. DeAndre marking up Sam Casey, who comes back to Andre Ruff. Bounce pass finds James, who takes it out of traffic. Back over for Casey, and 3-ball from the corner is good. And the lead changes hands yet again.
Sam Casey, he had a defender right in his face. Tim Walsh was right there, but he caught the ball and got it right into his shooting pocket.
Walsh from downtown again, and he has had himself a day, folks. That is his 6th three-pointer. He has 22 points. Andre Ruff's going to be called for the carry, I believe. And another turnover. Give an opportunity for Mass Premier. Their largest lead in this game was 3 points. That was 10-7. Following that, they suffered a difficult 22-3 run that saw them down 16 at one point. And here we go, 48-46, trying to extend the lead. Nice bounce pass for Connor. Finds Lehman outside, and the 3-ball is good. Lehman's first points of the game, and the lead is now 5. Mass Premier was down 10 at the half. They've had themselves quite the half here.
It makes a big difference when you make your outside shots. Huge difference.
Timeout for Chris Giordano and the Magic, so we'll take one too. 51-46 as we head to crunch time, 3:12 to play. Coach Chris Giordano of the Middlesex Magic, his side, down 5 as we head into the waning 3 minutes of this second half. Semifinal game of the 11th graders, and backing in was Adam Quinlan, and maybe a nice job there selling the foul, but offensive is the call. Mass Premier is going to take over with the lead and up 5.
Well, Jimmy Lehman did a good job of moving his feet, and there may have been a little theatrics involved, but he beat Quinlan to the spot, and Quinlan's a bigger, more rugged guy. And once he felt a little bit of contact, Lehman just fell down. And with 3 referees, it's hard not to make that call. 1 out of 3 of them is definitely going to make it.
Lehman will switch it around for DeAndre. Throws it underneath, tough pass, found Rogers, who just couldn't get the connection to fall.
That was a great cut by Rogers. You never see kids move without the ball like that. He just went backdoor on the weak side. Smart play.
Speaking of, Walsh, the rebound, could have broken up court, decide to dish back, and DeAndre the take. He's having himself a day. He now has 14 points, and the lead, largest of the day, is 7 for Mass Premier. Had a terrific second half. 3-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound underneath Quinlan. Battles with Connor, and Quinlan not too happy. Gets back up, and alternating arrow, the possession is going to remain Middlesex possession here.
He went down hard on that one knee.
Trying to inbound to wipe the sweat off the floor. It looks like it's going to be James to inbound. Nope, they're still waiting on the substitution. Wisniewski's going to check in for Lehman. Plays it for Quinlan, and now back to the corner. James is short. Rebound, Wisniewski. And he'll play it for Chris Rogers. Rogers had a terrific second half. You could pretty much say that about anybody on Mass Premier. From the corner, Walsh, whose three balls have really been the impetus of this comeback. His play and DeAndre's three-pointer on the way, high off the glass from Ruff. And Walsh again, the rebound, brings it down to DeAndre.
Yeah, you're right about that. Chip Walsh is the one who started this whole offensive play off in the second half, and he drained 3 or 4 three-pointers in a row in the first 5 to 7 minutes of this game. And
speaking of, three ball from the corner from Ruff is good, and the lead is cut to 4 with 76 ticks of the clock remaining here in the second half. And you know, Christina, this is where we talk a lot about, you know, using your fouls. You got to hit your free throws, and there's a reason why some of these statements become cliches in the sport of basketball.
It's really true, but I mean, I don't know if they do this in AAU basketball. I know they do it at the college level, and we try to do it at the high school level as much as possible as coaches. But you spend a little bit of every practice, every single day on end-of-game situations, because more times than not, in a close game, the team that has gone over these situations in practice will be able to handle the pressure of the situations better. Now, it's a 4-point game. Obviously, as you said, you want to make free throws. You want to play without fouling. You want to be aware of how many fouls people have, how many team fouls you have. But I think most importantly, offensively, you don't want to turn the ball over because you're not sure of what you're supposed to be doing. And here, with no shot clock, anything can really happen.
Middlesex is going to come out and press. No surprise there. The inbounds comes to Walsh. Tight coverage from Ruff. He splits a couple of defenders and brings it out of traffic. And there's the foul call. It's going to be Jack Carl. Good to see him back on the court. He went out kind of gimpy. It looked like he'd rolled an ankle, but he still seems a little slow, but has a lot of fouls to give. Just his second. Quinlan will check back in, as will Casey for Jochen and Carl. Yeah, Carl's still feeling it. As going to the free throw line is DeAndre. Buries the first. He's had a great game, has DeAndre. 3 of 5 from the line. And 15 total points. Potentially 16 on the way there, and makes it.
Now, DeAndre's had some fantastic takes to the basket in the second half. We didn't see a lot of that out of him in the first half, but he can really get to the rim.
All but 17 of Mass Premier's courts, Mass Premier Elite's points have come from DeAndre and Walsh. 22 for Walsh, and now 16 for DeAndre, 17 for the rest of their team. 5 of those are Chris Rogers.
Well, they said in advance of this game, when I got a chance to talk to Mass Premier Elite a little bit, they said that they were a team without any stars.
That's not a smart foul there by Lehman. That's going to give Quinlan a chance for 3 the old-fashioned way, and a chance again. That's going to, he hits this free throw, and it's a 3-point game.
Exactly.
Not a good foul. And that's exactly what Coach Vaughn's. You got the hands outstretched, going, "Come on, you're killing me."
Anytime the palms go up, you know the coach is just saying, "Tell me why. Explain to me why."
I've been to some coaching clinics, and they actually have workshops on that.
On hand, body language.
Yeah, appropriate ways to say to players, "What are you doing?" Mike Riley was not a guest speaker at that, I tell you that much.
No, he probably wasn't.
Oh, no. Too soon? No.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. 4-point game. DeAndre's going back to the free throw line. The 4-point game. As Quinlan missed that free throw. It's part of his game he's going to want back. He's just 1 of 4 from the line today. Meanwhile, DeAndre knocks another one down. Got to make those free throws. And sometimes it's a lost art in the high school level. Again, all of these players are at the high school level. As that free throw is up and again. DeAndre has made 4 in a row here. Now a 6-point game, and will take a timeout with 43.7 ticks left on the clock. 57-51. We're back after this. 43.7 seconds remain as we come down the stretch. 57-51. Middlesex with the basketball for Sam Casey. Bombs away, short. Rebound, Jake Howell. He finds Ruff. Ruff wants to shoot, good defense. Good screen there by Quinlan, but a better switch. Ball comes to Casey, no good. Rebound, brought down. I want to say that's Wisniewski, and that ball was out of bounds right in front of us here. With 14 seconds left, Middlesex might be running out of magic in this one. They're going to need a miracle at this point, although we've seen stranger things happen.
Yes, we have, and I think they're going to continue to foul.
Oh, Walsh took one across the smush there.
Some of the fans are looking for a foul. Walsh obviously disagreed, and he's going to head to the free throw line. And you know, if I am the Magic, Tim Walsh might be the last guy I want at the free throw line right now. If he shoots his free throws like he shoots his three-pointers.
We're going to find out. He makes the first. These are his first 2 attempts from the free throw line. Chance to make this an 8-point game with this second free throw, and he does. Tim Walsh, the Attleboro High School star. Jumper on the way from James is no good. Ball bats away. Thrown up by Howell at the horn, and that'll do it. Terrific second half comeback by Mass Premier Elite, and they will advance to the championship game of this 11th grade Super Regional here in Foxborough with our final score 59-51. They'll shake up as they'll head through the line with the final score again 59-51. Christina, you know, as we look at the half, it was a 30-20 lead. You mentioned that Middlesex was hitting their Mass Premier wasn't hitting their open shots in the first half. They started to hit those shots, but I think really the game was won and lost, truthfully, on the glass. I mean, the rebounding advantage that Middlesex had in that first half wasn't really there. You couple that with some timely scoring and maybe some opposite effects from the field, and that's how one team's able to pull away with such an impressive second half performance.
Right, I think outside shooting affects the rebounding as well, because once you hit some outside shots, you spread the court out. Now you get defenders, they have to guard on the perimeter. They're not in the paint, they can't box out quite as well, and I also think that Mass Premier Elite in the second half did a much better job of boxing out the bigger guys on the inside for the Magic, and that's why they came out with the win in the end.
Well, and you have a guy like Timothy Walsh and Rocky DeAndre really became a two-headed monster in that second half. It didn't seem like the Middlesex Magic could find a solution for either one of them. They were hitting their shots for one, and I think everybody else just kind of fed off of that execution.
Well, before the game, the team itself, the players themselves said that they like to play together. They pass the basketball. There are no stars. So I think when we see this team play again today, we're going to see a similar team, and probably other kids are going to step up and score in double figures.
It was a back-and-forth game and had 7 lead changes at one point, but Mass Premier Elite pulls away. They improved to 9-1. They will play in the championship of the 11th grade division here in this Super Regional. With that, we will step aside for Christina Battistini and our entire Cox Sports crew. I'm Mike Rubin saying so long from Foxborough.